Hey guys, welcome back to another Spooky Story Monday, and as I said last week, this week's story is a classic, so I'm gonna assume you've definitely heard it before. I had originally planned on doing a full Halloween makeup look, however, my skin is starting to get mad again, so I had to give it a break, but that's alright. So, the story we are reading today is The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. This is not my original copy of Edgar Allan Poe. This is someone had gifted me this beautiful book. I don't know if I'll be able to find this particular one, but again, I always link the books below down in the description. This obviously is a little more of a fancier one. It's got the gold leaf. This one was gifted to me because of how much I love Edgar Allan Poe. When I was young, they were one of the first authors and poets that I became truly obsessed with. My original copy, the pages are all yellow, the cover is torn, so I didn't want to show you a ripped up book. But yeah, I absolutely love Edgar Allan Poe. The Raven is not my favorite story from them. However, for time's sake, it's the one we're going with. I actually really love The Pit and the Pendulum, which is only slightly longer, but I feel like that could run a bit, so. Plus, who doesn't love The Raven? It is a good poem, or short story rather. So without further ado, we will get right into it. So this is The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there became a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember it was the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book's surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore. For the rare and radiant maiden whom angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," I said, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I open wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon I heard again a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," I said, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what the threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not an instant stopped or stayed he, but with mine lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is, on the night of Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as nevermore. But the raven sitting lonely on the placid bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness, broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, I said, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till song's one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of the bird, and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking, what is this ominous bird of yore? What this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, nevermore? This I sat engaging in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This is more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press, ah, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by angels whose faint footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite and nepenthe for thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, unforgotten this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest toss thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm of Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a Satan maiden whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting, get thee back into the tempest and the night of Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy break from my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven never flitting, still sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamp light o'er him steaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. I probably sped through that, and it is because I have read this a million times. And as popular as this is, I will say that, you know, if you aren't familiar with it, which I will be greatly shocked, but if you aren't familiar with it, it's obviously about a man who is in mourning for his love that he has lost, and this bird shows up and just basically keeps saying nevermore, nevermore, and he at first thinks it's a sign of his love, and it starts to drive him mad, and he begs for it to leave and leave him in his sadness. So I hope you guys enjoyed these stories that I've been doing every Monday. I tried to do different ones so I wasn't doing the same type every time. I have so many books I could have pulled stories from, but I was trying not to be all over the place. None of them were terribly gory, except for I guess maybe the one I read last week was slightly gory. If you guys really liked this, I might do this again next October. We'll see. I definitely really enjoy doing it. I read quite a bit, so I don't mind reading for you guys. It is, I will say, a lot trickier to read aloud than it is to yourself. So I did stumble here and there and catch my breath, because when you're reading to yourself, you're not worrying about breathing and all that, but when you're reading aloud, you know, it's a whole lot different. But anyways, rambling now. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys really enjoyed these stories on Mondays. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Comment down below what you thought of this series that I've been doing. Again, maybe I'll do it next October. We shall see. And as always, please subscribe to my channel. I still have a couple more October videos coming out, and I hope you guys enjoy those as well. And then I plan on changing up my upload schedule for November, but I haven't quite decided what exactly I'm doing yet, so I will wait before I announce that, probably in my Saturday video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.